My expression wasn't much better than yours when I first saw this. Your eyes aren't deceiving you. It's her. The famous singer, Robin. Well, first of all, can I just say that this had nothing to do with me? I'm just an unlucky bystander here. The family can testify for me. If you don't believe me, just ask anyone in the Bloodhound family. They hate me and they hate the IPC, so they never lie. This is not where the crime happened. What I showed you was a memory. The most basic light cone manifesting tech, authorized by the Garden of Recollection and owned by the IPC. Did you really think the Galaxy Rangers were outsiders this whole time? Penacony has made a solemn commitment to protect the safety of anyone inside a family dream. Any person in distress will be forcibly awakened and safely returned to reality. What gives them the confidence to make such conclusive statements? Because behind this promise is the harmony. The family's Dreamweavers link up their minds together to construct an unbreakable defensive line. Breaking through this line of defense to create death in the dreamscape. Not even a memo keeper could do that without the family's permission. Who could have done it, friend? The only one is her. The girl who calls herself a Galaxy Ranger. An imposter. An unsought guest. Ifrit's death was a foregone conclusion. And Robin? Her misfortune was staring right at her. Who will be the next to die? It's fine. Listen to your gut. Building trust always takes time, and I'm willing to wait. I just hope you realize that wherever that legacy is concerned, covert plans are already underway throughout Penacony. Careful you don't get stuck on the wrong side. If I were you, I'd keep my distance from Acheron. After all, any schemes out in the open are always going to be better than a monster in the shadows, right?
Who's to say there isn't an even deeper conspiracy lurking beneath the surface?
Memo Keeper, I think our little deal is finished.
Aventurine is telling the truth. This memory is a real one, and there's no sign of any distortion grafting on.
The IPC is not the Garden, and there are real limits to what they can actually do, but you know all this. Friend, let's not beat around the bush here. The thing is, I want to reach out personally to team up with the Astral Express. I told you I'm just not interested in scrambling for the legacy. This has all become a bad debt thanks to the cancer of all worlds. You have no idea how difficult these people are to deal with. It'll just quietly float off like a bubble and pop. That's not fair, right? So then, friend, I need your help. I have but only one goal. The family's front door is like a high wall, and to tear the whole thing down, I'll have to dig out a few chunks first. Now we have our chance. So long as we can get to the truth behind her death, we can have justice for Robin. Well, truly a once-in-a-blue-moon opportunity. This tragic news would be extremely bad for the family, but I trust that there are still a few factions that remain exceptions. And that's why I need you all. You get to find out really what happened and seek justice. And I get to put it toward completing my mission for the IPC. It's what you call a win-win situation. But don't worry, just head back and talk things over with your companions. That navigator is really smart. Oh, and take this. A thorough investigation can always use a little more funding. Don't mention it. So long, friend. I really am looking forward to uncovering the truth about death with everyone.
Aventurine just sauntered off. He really doesn't mean to force it, but...
What now? What are your plans?
Black Swan. What is she thinking?
On the surface, this doesn't look like a bad deal for you. He doesn't know about Miss Firefly yet. That's quick thinking and very sound logic. Aventurine is no fool, and working with him definitely has its dangers. But you're talking about real evil. Anyway, be careful out there. There's more than one way to blaze a trail. As for the other questions... I'm not sure the two cases were committed by the same culprit, but plus, it seems unlikely that there would be two lethal entities loose in the dreamscape. Sorry, I can't answer that question. That ranger is shrouded in mystery. I'm afraid no one is capable of providing an answer. But without a doubt, she's the most special guest at this banquet. Two victims appearing one after the other in a very short time span. Two possibilities. The collapse of Penacony's dreamscape has started speeding up, If someone has chosen these victims deliberately, first a smuggler, then a family celebrity, then this... It's all happened so quickly, I can only make a conjecture. After leaving here, go have a chat with your companions. I hope you can clarify the source of this confusion. Come, this way. It's a short walk. Don't get lost. This way. This is where we part ways. All of this is like a nightmare. Unfortunately, the remembrance doesn't lie. But follow your heart and don't be afraid. Hold on just a sec. There you go. A small parting gift. If one day you unfortunately fall into the deep waters of the memory zone and there's no memo keeper to join you, hopefully it can guide you on my behalf. I also pay great attention to the ways of the world. Just think of this as an apology from me for hiding something from you. Then, I've something private to take care of regarding that Galaxy Ranger. What fascinating memories will you bring for me next time we meet? I sincerely look forward to them.
A family rep. Is Himiko okay? So much has happened. I should take a moment to gather my thoughts and wait for everyone to arrive.
That blade now, Ranger.
Do you still dream, Hunter? Of those slain by your hand?
It appears the outcome has already been determined.
You're still alive, as are you. You still have room to make a choice. Leave the music box behind, and then go.
Choice. The bloody trail of the destruction leaves no room for hesitation.
The Taurus Fire Demon. Even if you sacrifice your life for that Eon, you won't get special treatment.
Ranger, you'll tread the narrow path of the hunt. You could never understand. We come from the fire, and are born bathed in fire. Burning forms the entire life of a fire demon, from the beginning to the end.
Your companions don't seem to think so. They fight for your chance at survival.
They are my children, and just as I was, they are flames that have yet to burn white hot. But my flames are faint, and time is running out.
Why?
Because on the path they have forged, you have traveled farther than I have. Emanator. You cannot hide your true identity. Draw that sword, for we shall indeed remain here, bound to fight a decisive battle to the death, for I choose this. Destruction is intense, but brief.
Even if the answer turns out to be your own destruction.
What is important is not the answer, but that it exists, just as you exist. Everything exists to be destroyed. Emanators are no different. Just as even sweet dreams may be born of the void, the so-called impossible is merely something that has yet to happen.
All right. I accept.
You shall witness the most brilliant and intense fire in existence.
A bottomless stream. Yes, that's right. But you've made one small mistake. This blade remains in its scabbard not out of pity or scorn. It's a personal secret that I don't want to disclose, but perhaps out of reciprocity. I'll reveal the truth to you. The hunt is not the path I truly follow. May death be the end of your boundless dream, guiding you back to the waking world. I still see them in my dreams. Hold it. Your time hasn't come yet.
My time?
I've seen many clever disguises that can conceal appearances, but they can never cover up who a person really is. And you're no different. You had no desire to kill the trailblazer. You only did what you did to drive me and the Memo Keeper away, but why? Did Destiny's slave make you do it?
You know, Elio.
I thought this is just the kind of thing that'd get written into your script.
My script has always been brief. Other than that, anything beyond that is unnecessary. He knows my nature. There is but a single destiny from which no one can escape. And until then, I hold the privilege of choice. However, you appear to be ignorant of this, so it's time for me to inquire. Who exactly are you?
Not your enemy, perhaps.
That's not what I asked.
I don't deserve your curiosity. Loners wandering the cosmos always have their secrets. Take me. I'm wanted by the IPC, so it's little wonder that I know something about the Stellaron Hunters. That's all. Maybe I can help.
What reason would you have for doing that?
I tend to forget things. Which is why, rather than memories, I'm accustomed to using my emotions to capture what I normally wouldn't otherwise. So, I know who is inside that cold armor. How about it? Ready to take off that armor and sit down for a talk?
It's not yet time. I don't need help, but I can give you a suggestion that would make things better for you and me. If your goal is the Watchmaker's legacy, then go look into the family. Not only are they covering up the existence of death, but they're burying the past and the truth about what happens inside the dreamscape.
Already on it.
And the Astral Express is no enemy of yours.
I know that. I just never expected to hear you say it. What's next, then? The Trailblazer's been taken by Black Swan. Will you go look for her?
No need for that. No harm in mentioning that Elio's only given me one instruction. Get all of the Astral Express to track down the Grand Legacy. I tried settling this in an easier and more direct way, but as you can see, here I am, confronting you. I failed. Can't ever go against the script.
The so-called impossible is merely something that has yet to happen. That's it. Before we split, can I ask you one more thing? Is there anything else in your script about me? I'd like to know what kind of footnote I get to leave in that future foreseen by destiny.
Unfortunately, not a thing came up.
I knew it.
Hang on. I don't.
Don't. What?
Your first question was, do you still have dreams about everyone who died because of you? I don't. Never have. I was born without the ability to dream. I live for this cold, harsh reality, for a little light, and to burn, to keep on burning, until I turn to ash. So, I really envy you.
Is that so? And you're already living in the waking world.
We heard about Miss Firefly from Black Swan.
I'm sorry.
Reality cruises on in serenity. Well, stay strong, everyone. We can still do what we can for them.
Let's recap everything then. The Trailblazer just reminded me of something. Marge, do you remember what that family rep who negotiated with us said?
Indeed, we trust that the Nameless has nothing to do with this, and we also beg each of you to help assist the family in verifying the identity of the deceased. That's how it was put, in reference to Miss Firefly.
Looking back, he seemed a little evasive at the time. And he also failed to mention anything about the earlier murder, too.
The family's planning on covering up all news about Miss Robin's death. If news gets out, Penacony is going to turn into a bloodbath.
But the murder that followed closely after was obviously beyond their anticipation.
It may also be that Miss Firefly's murder had so many witnesses that it couldn't be covered up. After all, the nature of the two murders is fundamentally different. The family's first protective measure should be against malicious actors among the guests, such as that IPC envoy.
Indeed, he was particularly concerned about that Galaxy Ranger.
Are we missing the forest for the trees here? I always felt that Aventurine's reasons for accusing Miss Acheron were highly subtle. Can we believe him?
At this point, I'm afraid the only ones we can trust are ourselves.
Look, let's try to gather intel first and then list all the possible outcomes we can. I've still got this sense of foreboding.
This time we're playing the role of a real detective. But before we start, what are we going to say to the family and Aventurine?
As I see things, the family harbors no ill will towards the Astral Express. If they didn't trust the crew, they wouldn't have casually commissioned outsiders to investigate a case that's, in all likelihood, a scandal. Plus, this is the family's turf. Teaming up with them should make things easier for us in the future. As for that Aventurine, well, I'd like to hear your thoughts.
He's complex. He deliberately slow-played his hand during negotiations while running circles around us all the while. He appealed convincingly to both reason and emotion. Still, it's good to have contacts among all this uncertainty. We also need to keep a certain distance from the family.
So you suggest accepting Aventurine's proposal to team up?
Yes. It's risky, but we can only wait until both sides have played their cards before making any further judgments.
I get why, but there's a whole lot of bad guys and girls around here, and I'm worried about getting stabbed in the back. She's been bullied a few times now, and I can't stand it anymore. You're like a broken record. Forget about it. Just let me keep an eye on him. If that doesn't work, we can just turn the tables and use him instead.
Then, could you please reply to Aventurine? Everyone, take this time to put together your thoughts. Looks like Aventurine is happy with this outcome. Let's tell everyone about it.